And of course, there's the Mad King, killed by my uncle. Would you like to see where the last Targaryens are buried?
Are you sure Lady Marjorie doesn't find all this a bit macabre?
Oh no, it's quite all right, Your Grace.
The realm. Do you know what the realm is? It's the 1,000 blades of Aegon's enemies. A story we agreed to tell each other over and over till we forget that it's a lie.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back for another Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon video. In this video, I will be showing you exactly what happened to Rhaenyra Targaryen. Some of you may or may not remember this, but it was actually revealed during the 3rd season of Game of Thrones when Joffrey was giving Marjorie a history lesson about the life and death of many members of House Targaryen. It's interesting how he might have revealed exactly how House of the Dragon ends in a throwaway line that many fans most likely don't remember. If you don't want to know what will happen in House of the Dragon, I would highly recommend shutting off this video now. Although George R. R. Martin did write this in his novel many years ago, it still might ruin the show for some of you who don't know. Now, another interesting thing is House of the Dragon might have already foreshadowed this in their most recent episode when we saw Rhaenyra and Daemon walking around the city at night. Notice how they show a dragon unleashing its fire right as the woman says, "Do you want to know your death?"
Do you wish to know your death, child?
They might have added this as a way to symbolize how Rhaenyra's life would end. Now, for those of you who don't know, Rhaenyra will die by the hands of her own half-brother Aegon II of his name. We actually already met him already. He is the firstborn son of her father Viserys and her best friend Alicent Hightower. Right at the end of the Dance of the Dragons, Rhaenyra will die when Aegon feeds her to his dragon Sunfire. Let me show you what Joffrey said all the way back in Season 3 of Game of Thrones.
Rhaenyra Targaryen was murdered by her brother, or rather, his dragon. It ate her while her son watched. What's left of her is buried in the crypts right down there.
It is kinda crazy to think how Rhaenyra, or at least what was left of her, was right there inside of the Red Keep during the whole run of Game of Thrones. Unless you had already read George R. R. Martin's novels, you would have had no way of knowing she was there, assuming you had even heard of her name before House of the Dragon began. Another thing I find very interesting is how Joffrey's actor Jack Gleeson did the narration for that scene in the Dance of the Dragons History and Lore video. I believe this was released all the way back in Season 7 with their DVD features. In that History and Lore video, he again describes how Rhaenyra died. I think they did an amazing job by having him do the narration for the scene because he sounds like he actually enjoys it, like we all know the sadistic Joffrey would, which is also exactly how you would think Aegon would sound as he's feeding his half-sister to his dragon.
Rhaenyra, ever defiant, told her dear brother that she'd hoped he was dead. "After you," Aegon answered. Then Sunfire bathed her in a blast of flame and devoured her in 6 bites when her son watched, leaving the 7th and final bite, her lower leg, for the stranger.
So, as you all can see, Rhaenyra does not have a happy ending. This is Game of Thrones after all, and as we all know, very few will make it out of this alive.
If you think this has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention.